Hello everyone. In this session we'll discuss rules of inference. The following are two important rules of inferences, Rule P and Rule T. Rule P is a premise may be introduced at any point in the derivation. Okay. Rule T, a formula S may be introduced in derivation if S is tautologically implied by one or more of the preceding formulas in the derivation. Okay, we'll discuss more in detail about these two rules while solving problems, Rule P and Rule T. Before we solve problems, you should remember some implication formulae which are useful to solve rule of inference problems. So here we have an implication formulae. I1, P and Q implies P. I2, P and Q implies Q. I3, P implies P or Q. I4, Q implies P or Q. I5, negation P implies P conditional Q. I6, Q implies P conditional Q. I7, negation of P conditional Q implies P. I8, negation of P conditional Q implies negation Q. I9, P comma Q implies P and Q. And I10, negation P comma P or Q implies Q, disjunctive syllogism. I11, P comma P conditional Q implies Q, modus ponens. I12, negation Q comma P conditional Q implies negation P, it is modus tollens. I13, P conditional Q comma Q conditional R which implies P conditional R. This is hypothetical syllogism. I14, P R Q comma P conditional R comma Q conditional R implies R. This is dilemma. Okay, these are the formulae which you have to remember to solve problems. Yes, now here are two problems. Show that R and P R Q is a valid conclusion from the premises P R Q, Q conditional R, P conditional M and negation M. Second problem, if there was a ball game, then traveling was difficult. If they arrived on time, then traveling was not difficult. They arrived on time, therefore there was no ball game. Show that these statements constitute a valid argument. Argument is nothing but it is a sequence of propositions. So you have to show that it is a valid argument. Okay. Here in this you can identify the difference between these two. Here you have a premises. Here you have to write the premises by reading these proposition. Okay. Next, third problem. Show that premises, if you send me an email message, then I will finish writing the program. If you don't send me an email message, then I will go to sleep early. And if I go to sleep early, then I will wake up feeling refreshed. Leading to the conclusion, if I do not finish writing the program, then I will wake up feeling refreshed. These are the problems we are discussing in this session. Okay, I'll start with the first problem. First problem is, show that given it is a valid conclusion from the premises P R Q, Q conditional R, P conditional M and negation M. Okay, now these are the given premises. Now you have four premises, right? You can introduce any one of these premises in the derivation. You can start with any one of the premises, your choice. Okay, I always go with the simple premise, that is negation M. So we have discussed just now rule P and rule T. So if you introduce any premise in the derivation, that is rule P. Okay, I have introduced negation M premise, this premise I have introduced, so that is rule P. Second, so we have introduced already this premise, so we cannot use again same premise which we have already introduced. Next, select any one of these premises. So here in the first premise you have negation M, no? So next I am selecting P conditional M as a second premise. So I have introduced another premise in the derivation, that is P conditional M. Okay, if P conditional M. Now from these two, you observe these two premises, negation M, P conditional M. From these two premises, can we write another, can we derive another premise? Yes, just now we have discussed implication formulae, that is negation. See here we have a implication formula using this. See, negation R, P conditional Q implies negation P. So here it is negation M, P conditional M implies negation P. So we have derived this premise from these two premises. Okay, this is rule T. We have not introduced this premise, we have derived from these two premises, that is rule T. We derive this from statement 1 and 2. Okay, from 1 and 2 premises we have derived using modus tollens. You should write the reason. Next, fourth. Okay, this is also over. Next, negation P. Negation P. Next, I am selecting PRQ. I am introducing one more premise, that is PRQ. This is about rule P. If you introduce any one of the premises, that is rule P. Next, fifth one. Observe these two. From these two premises, can we derive one more premise? Can I derive premise from these two? Yes, by using disjunctive syllogism. See, here we have learned negation P, comma, PRQ implies Q. Okay, from these two premises you can write this implies negation P, comma, PRQ implies Q. Okay, so we have derived this premise. This is rule T from 3, 4 disjunctive syllogism. Next, sixth one. So this we have introduced already. This we have introduced. There is only one premise remaining, that is Q conditional R. Okay, so I have introduced Q conditional R, that is rule P. So next, in the next step, from these two premises, can we derive one more premise? Yes, using modus ponens. Look at this implication using I11 P, comma, P conditional Q implies Q. Here Q, comma, Q conditional R implies R. So this is rule T. Rule T from 5, 6 using modus ponens. Okay, using modus ponens we got this R. Okay, now from R and PRQ, from R, comma, PRQ. So using implication, here we have an implication P, comma, Q implies P and Q. So using implication I9, R and PRQ can be written as R and PRQ. This is rule T using 4, 7. Okay, using implication formula P, Q implies P and Q. So therefore we got this conclusion, no? Therefore we have shown that R and P are Q is a valid conclusion from these premises. Okay, in this way you have to prove the given premise is a valid conclusion. Okay, so this is the given conclusion. Next, second problem. Yes, if there is a ball game, if there was a ball game, then traveling was difficult. See here, in the previous problem we have premises. Okay, they have given premises directly, but here you should make a premise by using this preposition. If there was a ball game, you should define preposition. Let P is a preposition that there was a ball game. There was a ball game. If there was a ball game, then traveling was difficult. So you should also define another preposition that Q, traveling was difficult. Traveling was difficult. Next, if they arrived on time, you should define another preposition as a R. They arrived on time. Then traveling was not difficult. Yes. So I have defined preposition P as a there was a ball game, Q, traveling was difficult, and R, they arrived on time. So by reading this statement, if there was a ball game, if there was a ball game, P conditional, then traveling was difficult, P conditional Q. If there was a ball game, traveling was difficult. That is first premise, P conditional Q. Next, if they arrived on time, then traveling was not difficult. R is a preposition that they arrived on time. If they arrived on time, traveling was not difficult. That is negation Q. Okay, that is second. They arrived on time. So third premise is R. They arrived on time. So these are the premises we have written using P conditional Q. P, Q are prepositions. P conditional Q means if there was a ball game, then traveling was difficult. If they arrived on time, the traveling was not difficult. They arrived on time. So these are the three premises. So what is the conclusion here? Therefore, there was no ball game. So there was no ball game. That is, conclusion is ball game was P. So there was no ball game is negation P. Here conclusion is negation P. Okay, so you have to show that this is a valid conclusion from these premises. Okay, step. First, reason. As I said, you have three premises here and this is the conclusion. From these three premises, you have to show this is a valid conclusion. So as I said, you can, out of these three premises, you can introduce any one premise as a first, your choice. So I am introducing R first. So rule P. So if you introduce any one of the premises first in a derivation, that is rule P. Next, second one, R conditional negation Q. R conditional negation Q. So again I have introduced second premise, that is rule P. So third one, from these two can I derive any formula using, see, look at this I12, using I12 this can be written as negation R, comma. Here first we have introduced first premise R, that is rule P. Next I have introduced second premise, that is R conditional negation Q. So that is also rule P. From these two, now observe these two premises. From these premises, can we derive one more premise, new premise? We have to think. So using, see, it is in a form of P comma P conditional Q implies Q. Using modest ponens, P comma P conditional Q implies Q. Therefore, we will get negation Q. So we have derived this premise from these two, 1 comma 2, using modest ponens. Okay, we got this. See, we have introduced this first. Next I have introduced this premise. There is only one premise left, that is for P conditional Q. Okay, I have introduced last premise. So if I introduce this premise in the derivation, that is rule P. So P conditional Q. Now from these two premises, can we derive one? Yes. Using, look at this modest Tollens implication formula, negation Q, P conditional Q implies negation P. So here negation Q, P conditional Q implies negation P. So this is negation P. So we have derived this premise from these two premises. So rule T, 3 comma 4, this is modest Tollens. Okay, therefore this is a conclusion. No, that's what we have to show. This is a valid conclusion. Yes, we derived this from given premises. Okay, this is about second problem. Next, third one. Show that the premises, if you send me an email message, here premises are not given. You have to, by defining proposition, you have to write down the premises. So let us define pre be the proposition that you send me an email. You send me an email message. Let Q be proposition that I will finish writing the program. Next, R be a proposition that I will go to sleep early. And next, yes be a proposition, I will wake up feeling refreshed. Okay, these are 4 prepositions. Using these preposition, you have to write down the premises. If you send me an email message, then if you send me an email message, that is P conditional, then I will finish writing the program, P conditional Q. Next premise, if you do not send me an email message, that is negation P. If you do not send me an email message, then I will go to sleep early, that is negation P implies R. Third one, if I go to sleep early, that is R conditional, then I will wake up feeling fresh. Yes, then R conditional S. These are the premises. Lead to the conclusion, if I do not finish writing the program, then I will wake up feeling refreshed. Okay, if I do not finish writing. So conclusion, therefore conclusion here, negation Q, if I do not finish writing, I will finish writing the program is Q. If I do not is negation Q. Negation Q implies yes. So therefore this is the conclusion. Okay, These are the premises. This is the conclusion. You have to derive now from these premises. This is a valid conclusion. Yes. Step reason. You can introduce any one of these premises. First, I am introducing first premise, that is P conditional Q. So, according to rule P, if you introduce any premise in the given derivation, that is rule P. Next, so I am writing the contrapositive of this proposition, that is negation Q, conditional negation P. So, this is rule T, that is contrapositive. So, this is the contrapositive of this statement, that is P conditional Q. Contrapositive is negation Q, conditional negation P. Now, I am introducing negation third, next premise, that negation P. This we have introduced already. So, you have two more premises to introduce. So, next I am introducing negation P conditional R. Okay. If you introduce any premise, that is rule P. Next, look at these two premises. From these two, can we derive any new premise? Yes, we can derive. So, it is in a form of P conditional Q, Q conditional R, then P conditional R. So, this can be written as negation Q conditional R. This is rule T. We have derived this premise from these two premises according to hypothetical syllogism. So, what hypothetical syllogism says, that P conditional Q, Q conditional R, therefore P conditional R. So, this is hypothetical syllogism. Okay. Next, to introduce one, I am introducing one more premise, that is R conditional S, rule P. Okay. Now, observe these two premises. Can we derive new premise from these two? Yes. Again, we can use hypothetical syllogism. Negation Q, conditional yes, we get. So, this is rule T from 4,5 statements using hypothetical syllogism. So, therefore, we have shown that this is our conclusion. Negation Q, conditional S. We have shown that this is a valid conclusion. Okay.